we want to share something important about breakfast foods because what you eat as your first meal after you wake determines how your brain functions, how clearly you remember things, how well you see, and whether your joints ache or feel strong for the rest of the day. And here's what most seniors don't know. The breakfast that worked perfectly fine when you were 40, the cereal, the toast, the oatmeal, is now silently damaging your brain, destroying your memory, weakening your vision, and inflaming your joints, not because those foods changed, but because your body changed. A 2019 study from Tufts University's Human Nutrition Research Center followed 2,300 adults over 60 for 4 years and found something shocking. Seniors who ate high-carbohydrate breakfasts, cereal, toast, pancakes, sweetened oatmeal, experienced 40% faster cognitive decline, 2.8 times higher rates of macular degeneration, and significantly more joint inflammation markers compared to those who ate protein-based breakfasts. The researchers concluded that after 60, the body's ability to process morning carbohydrates without inflammatory consequences drops dramatically, yet almost no one adjusts their breakfast accordingly. And there's more. Japan's oldest practicing doctor spent decades observing thousands of seniors, and he noticed a pattern. The seniors who stayed mentally sharp, kept their vision clear, and moved without joint pain into their 90s, all shared one thing: they didn't eat like they did at 40. They upgraded their breakfast to match their aging biology. And in just a few minutes, he will tell you exactly what to eat after you wake up. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where science and lived experience meet to help you age with strength and clarity. Today, we're breaking down exactly which breakfast foods are harming you after 60, and which ones protect your brain, sharpen your memory, preserve your vision, and heal your joints. Doctor, this feels like one of those topics people need to hear.
It is for sure, John, because breakfast is not just food. It's a signal. It tells your brain what kind of fuel to expect. It tells your joints whether to inflame or repair, and it tells your eyes whether they'll get the nutrients they need to stay healthy. And after 60, that signal matters more than most people realize.
That's a completely different way of thinking about breakfast. Most people just eat what they've always eaten.
And that's the problem. The body you have at 60 is not the same body you had at 40. Your insulin response has changed. Your inflammation sensitivity has increased. Your brain needs different fuel. Your joints need different building blocks. But if you keep eating the same breakfast, you're treating a 60-year-old body like it's still 40.
So it's not about the food being bad, it's about the food not matching the biology anymore.
Exactly. And in this episode, I'm going to show you a tier system. We'll start with the breakfasts that are actively harming you and you are probably eating every week. Then we'll talk about upgrades, and I'll walk you through the 3 best breakfast foods that directly protect your brain, memory, vision, and joints every single morning.
All right, but before we go further, help us understand where you're starting from. Comment a 1 if you usually eat cereal, toast, or oatmeal for breakfast, or comment a 2 if you eat eggs or protein. Doctor, the word is yours.
John, I want to start by explaining why the first meal after waking matters so much after 60. Because once you understand this, everything else will make perfect sense.
Okay, please walk us through it.
Well, when you wake up, your body has been fasting for 8 to 10 hours. Your brain is looking for fuel. Your joints are looking for repair materials. Your eyes are looking for protective nutrients. And whatever you eat first, that's what you give them. Now, the critical part is that after 60, your cells become more insulin resistant. That means when you eat carbohydrates or sugar, your body struggles to process it efficiently. Blood sugar spikes higher. Insulin stays elevated longer. And that creates 3 major problems.
So what are those 3 problems?
First, your brain gets unstable fuel. It rides a blood sugar roller coaster. Sharp energy, then crashes, then brain fog, then hunger again. That instability damages memory formation and cognitive function over time. Second, your joints get inflamed. High blood sugar triggers inflammatory markers that settle into your knees, hips, and hands. And third, your eyes suffer. Chronic blood sugar spikes damage the tiny blood vessels in your retina, accelerating macular degeneration and vision loss.
Wait, so you're saying a sugary breakfast isn't just making someone tired, it's actively damaging their brain, joints, and eyes?
Yes, and the damage is cumulative. One sugary breakfast doesn't ruin you, but 365 days a year for 10 or 20 years? That's when seniors wake up and wonder why they can't remember names, why their knees ache constantly, and why they need stronger glasses every year.
That's a massive shift in how I think about breakfast. So what are the specific foods most seniors are eating that cause this damage?
Let's start with the worst. The breakfasts that backfire after 60, the number one culprit I would say is cereal. Whether it's Life cereal, Cheerios, or even the healthy granola. These are all ultra-processed carbohydrates loaded with sugar. When a senior eats cereal, the blood sugar spikes within 30 minutes. The brain gets a temporary rush, but then crashes hard. By mid-morning, they're hungry, foggy, and irritable. And over time, this pattern destroys insulin sensitivity, which accelerates cognitive decline.
So even the cereals that seem healthy are a problem?
Yes, because they are still primarily refined grains and added sugars, and the brain reacts to that instability. Seniors tell me they feel sharp for an hour, then can't concentrate. That's the blood sugar crash. It also depletes critical nutrients like B vitamins, which are essential for memory and nerve function.
What about something like Pop-Tarts or pancakes?
Those are even worse, John. Pop-Tarts are essentially pure sugar and refined flour. Pancakes, especially with syrup, create one of the highest blood sugar spikes possible, and after 60, your body simply cannot handle that without consequences. The inflammation that follows affects your joints immediately. Seniors who eat these foods often notice their knees feel stiffer, their hands ache more, and their overall mobility decreases.
I've heard patients describe that exact pattern. They eat pancakes for breakfast and feel stiff by noon.
That's the inflammatory response, and it doesn't stop at joints. High blood sugar also damages the macula, the part of your eye responsible for sharp central vision. Studies show that seniors who eat high glycemic breakfasts have significantly higher rates of age-related macular degeneration.
So these aren't just comfort foods, they're actively harming vision.
Correct. Now, let's talk about toast. Most seniors think toast is harmless, but commercial bread, especially white or wheat bread, is another refined carbohydrate. It spikes blood sugar, triggers inflammation, and provides almost no nutritional value for the brain or joints. Add jam or jelly, and you've just compounded the problem.
What about oatmeal? That's what a lot of seniors switch to thinking it's healthier.
Oatmeal is interesting because there are levels. The instant oatmeal packets with added sugar and flavoring, those are just as bad as cereal. Your body processes them as pure sugar. But even plain oatmeal has a challenge. It's heavily sprayed with glyphosate, an herbicide linked to gut inflammation and potential cognitive effects. And oatmeal is still a carbohydrate-dominant meal, which means it doesn't give your brain the stable fuel it needs.
So even the healthy breakfast options most seniors rely on are problematic.
Yes, but here's where it gets better, John. Because they are upgrades. These foods are not ideal, but they're a step in the right direction.
I'm curious what those upgrades look like.
If you are going to eat oatmeal, upgrade to organic steel-cut oats. These take longer to digest, cause a slower blood sugar rise, and don't have the glyphosate contamination. They're not perfect, but they're significantly better than instant oats or cereal.
So it's about slowing down the sugar impact.
Exactly. Another upgrade is sprouted bread, like Ezekiel bread. The sprouting process reduces gluten, increases nutrient availability, and lowers the glycemic response. It's still bread, so it's still primarily carbohydrate, but it's far less inflammatory than regular toast.
What about those new keto cereals or low-sugar options?
Those can be helpful for people transitioning away from sugar. Products like Magic Spoon have no added sugar and higher protein, but they are still processed, and they're not giving your brain, joints, or eyes the direct nutrients they need. They're a better option than Frosted Flakes, but they're not the solution.
So these are less harm but not true support.
Exactly. And that's an important distinction, because if you want to truly protect your brain, memory, vision, and joints, you need to move beyond carbohydrates altogether. You need to make protein the foundation of your first meal.
That's a big shift for most people. Why is protein so critical in the morning?
Protein does three things carbohydrates cannot do. First, it stabilizes blood sugar. No spikes, no crashes, no brain fog. Your brain gets steady, reliable fuel all morning. Second, protein provides the amino acids your joints need to repair cartilage and connective tissue. And third, protein supports neurotransmitter production, the chemical messengers that control memory, focus, and mood.
So it's not just about energy, it's about giving the body the raw materials it needs.
Yes, and after 60, your body becomes less efficient at absorbing and using protein, so you actually need more of it, not less. Seniors who skip protein at breakfast are essentially starving their brain and joints of the nutrients they need most.
That makes so much sense. So what's the number one protein source you recommend?
Eggs. Hands down, eggs are one of the most nutrient-dense, affordable, and accessible breakfast foods on the planet. And for seniors, they're unmatched. You have to hear this.
Okay, walk me through why eggs are so powerful.
Let me break it down by how eggs directly protect your brain, memory, vision, and joints. First, eggs contain choline, which your brain uses to produce acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for memory formation and recall. Seniors with low choline intake have significantly higher rates of memory decline.
So eggs are literally feeding the memory system.
Yes. Second, eggs contain lutein and zeaxanthin, two antioxidants that concentrate in the macula of your eye. These compounds protect against macular degeneration and cataract formation. Studies show that eating just one egg per day significantly increases these protective nutrients in your bloodstream.
Wait, so eggs aren't just good for the brain, they're directly protecting vision.
Correct. Third, eggs provide all 9 essential amino acids, which your joints use to rebuild cartilage, tendons, and ligaments. And finally, eggs contain choline and omega-3s, if pasture-raised, which support brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that helps your brain grow new connections and resist cognitive decline.
That's incredible. One food is hitting all 4 areas.
Yes, and here's what I tell my patients. If you're a college student on a tight budget, any egg is better than cereal. But if you can afford it, upgrade to pasture-raised or organic eggs. The omega-3 content is higher and the nutrient density is significantly better. But don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Start with what you can access.
So eggs are the baseline, but is there something even better?
There is, John, and that's meat-based breakfasts, bacon, sausage, and red meat.
I know some people will be surprised to hear that. Walk us through it.
Let's talk about quality first. I wouldn't eat conventional bacon loaded with sugar and nitrates. But organic, no sugar, added bacon? That's a different story. Same with sausage and red meat. The key is sourcing and portion size.
So what makes meat so valuable for the aging brain and body?
Meat is the richest source of B vitamins on the planet. Vitamin B1, which is highest in pork, is essential for brain energy production and nerve function. B6 and B12 support memory, cognitive stability, and protect against brain shrinkage. Seniors who are low in B12, which is extremely common, experience memory loss, confusion, and even symptoms that mimic dementia.
So meat isn't just protein, it's brain medicine.
Exactly. And if the meat is grass-fed, you also get omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation in the joints and protect the blood vessels in your eyes. Red meat also contains carnosine, a compound that protects the retina from oxidative damage.
I didn't realize meat had vision-protecting properties.
Most people don't, but the research is clear. Seniors who consume adequate animal protein have better vision outcomes and slower rates of macular degeneration. And for joints, meat provides the complete amino acid profile needed to rebuild cartilage and reduce inflammatory markers.
So bacon and eggs isn't just a classic breakfast, it's actually therapeutic.
It is. And I've had patients tell me that after switching from cereal to eggs and bacon, their joint pain decreased, their brain fog lifted, and they stopped needing afternoon naps. One man told me he felt like he got 10 years of energy back.
That's life-changing. But what about people who can't or don't want to eat meat?
That's where fermented and dairy-based options come in. Greek yogurt, Bulgarian yogurt, and high-quality cheese can be excellent alternatives.
How do those protect the brain and joints?
Fermented foods like yogurt contain probiotics, beneficial bacteria that live in your gut. And here's what most people don't realize. Your gut and your brain are directly connected. The gut-brain axis means that gut health affects mood, memory, cognitive function, and even joint inflammation. Seniors with poor gut health often have higher inflammation, brain fog, and joint pain.
So yogurt isn't just for digestion, it's affecting the brain.
Correct. And yogurt provides high-quality protein, B vitamins, and in some cases, vitamin K2, which directs calcium into your bones and joints rather than your arteries. That's critical for joint health and mobility.
What about cheese?
I recommend raw, aged European cheeses, not processed American cheese. Raw cheese contains beneficial bacteria, K2 and protein. It's nutrient-dense and anti-inflammatory when consumed in moderation. But some seniors are lactose intolerant or sensitive to dairy, so this is an individual choice.
So these are alternatives, not requirements.
Exactly. The goal is protein-based, nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory food. Whether that's eggs, meat, or fermented dairy, depends on the person.
This is all incredibly practical, but I'm curious, does timing matter? Should seniors eat right when they wake up, or wait?
That's a great question, John. And this is where individualization becomes important. Around 8 a.m., your body experiences a natural cortisol spike. Some people feel this as hunger, but it's not true hunger. It's a hormonal wave. If you eat immediately, you're responding to cortisol, not actual need.
So what should people do?
If you're not truly hungry at 8 a.m., wait. Let the cortisol wave pass. Many of my patients eat their first meal around 10 or 10:30, and they feel much better. But if you are genuinely hungry in the morning, especially if you are active or doing physical work, then eat. The key is listening to your body, not following rigid rules.
That's such a compassionate approach. It's not about forcing a schedule.
No. After 60, Flexibility and self-awareness matter more than dogma. Some seniors do better with 2 meals, one mid-morning, one mid-afternoon. Others prefer fasting until noon. The important part is that when you do eat, it's protein-based, nutrient-dense food that supports your brain, memory, vision, and joints.
That really ties everything together.
And one more thing, John. Sleep affects all of this. Seniors who sleep 6 hours versus 8 hours have significantly worse blood sugar control, more inflammation, and more cognitive decline. If you are struggling with breakfast choices, start by improving your sleep first.
That's such an important connection. Everything works together.
It does. And that's why, like I always tell my patients, the first meal you eat sets the direction for your entire day. It determines whether your brain gets stable fuel or crashes, whether your joints inflame or repair, and whether your eyes receive protection or damage.
That's a powerful message to end on. Let us know in the comments if you're still listening. It shows us who is really putting the effort in. Oh, and watch this next video right now.
Yes, please.
We've picked this one especially for you.